I grew up in Bogotá, Colombia, surrounded by the Andes Mountains. Growing up there shaped the way I move through the world. I grew up understanding time differently. In Colombia, we really don't have 4 seasons. Instead, we shift between rainy and sunny days throughout the year. And there's a kind of slowness to that rhythm, and I think it taught me to pay attention. A lot of my work begins there, with observation, walking through places very slowly or noticing textures, traces, repetitive gestures, and the quiet ways landscapes transform over time. My practice is research-driven and site-responsive. I work primarily through sculpture and installation, often using materials sourced directly from the places I'm working in. I work with soil, stones, water, seeds, and metals. I'm interested in the stories these materials carry and how landscape hold memory, like geological memory or ecological memory or even cultural memory. I think of materials almost as witnesses or metonymies. They record time differently than we do. I'm especially drawn to natural phenomena that exist in states of transformation, like erosion, evaporation, sedimentation, or growth. These processes are constantly shifting and unstable. I think part of that comes from my fascination with impermanence and with materials that can resist or give into control. I like allowing materials to behave on their own terms, to change through the duration of an exhibition or to hold unpredictability. At Prairie Ronde, I found myself thinking about the ancient glaciers that shaped the region and how their presence still quietly lingers in the rhythms of Vicksburg today. On spring, farmers gather stones and gravel lifted to the surface by winter frost before planting their crops, repeating a gesture tied to the landscape that was formed thousands of years ago. Sometimes I like to think about the times I cannot perceive, like the time held within stones and how their existence stretches far beyond our own. Though they appear static, stones are constantly transforming in ways too slow for us to witness. I think about the moment when stones existed as mountains and how, through glacier movement or melting, it was gradually fragmented and carried, scattered, and eventually settled into the ground beneath our feet. These thoughts led me to think about glaciers not only as geological forces, but as carriers of memory and transformation. Their movement, melting, and disappearance compressed vast stretches of time into something tangible, while traces of their passage continue to shape how land is inhabited today. In this work, water exists in shifting states, soil, liquid, and vapor, acting both as materials and as a way of thinking about change, fragility, and the quiet transformation landscapes continue to hold. Across my practice, I'm ultimately trying to understand how humans relate to place, emotionally, physically, and historically. How land shapes us and how we shape it in return. My work is less about presenting fixed answers and more about creating moments of attention and reflection, or spaces where people can slow down, observe closely, and reconsider their relationship to the place around them. For me, making is a way of listening, is a way of tracing connections between material, memory, and landscape, while also understanding not only where I come from, but how we're all connected to the environment that sustains us. I think I'm always searching for a kind of slowness and presence, for the time to stay with something long enough to observe it closely, witness its transformation, and begin to understand it more deeply.